Welcome to the What, How, and Why UDL. I am your host, Jason Chadowski, and I'm joined by Vincent Mayo, Oriana
Yo.
Davnero, and Ryan Plout. I have a great cast here, got great guest speakers here, and we're going to talk about universal design of learning. Um, so, to begin, we want to talk about what is universal design of learning, what it has in store for us, what is that in store for our students. So, who would like to take that away?
I can take that real quick. So,
Absolutely.
Universal Design for Learning is, or UDL, are guidelines that can be applied to any discipline or any content. And it's basically, let me just pull up my notes.
Hmm.
So, UDL offers content in multiple ways using representation, engagement, and action and expression. Multiple means of all three of these things. So, especially when it comes to digital learning, there's a bunch of different ways that teachers can implement UDL. Um, the actual UDL guidelines state the goal of UDL is learner agency that is purposeful and reflective, resourceful and authentic, and strategic and action oriented. So the three of these things, engagement, action and expression, and representation, are all three things that optimize choice and autonomy for students. And things like choice boards or using digital technology in classrooms, ways to represent students that are English learners or need extra help with things like English learning or math or things like that. UDL can just really help kind of frame that for students and educators.
What are some benefits of digital design
I
learning?
found that UDL ensures that any student, regardless of their abilities, their learning style, their preferences for learning, um, can access the content and show understanding of it, productively. Um,
How does what's called digital design increase their personalized learning, kind of a thing?
well, when you personalize education through UDL, you give the students choices in how they're going to engage with the material and show what they know. Because, one, you're giving it to them in a variety of ways, images, videos, whatnot. And then you're allowing them to showcase their understanding in a variety of ways. May it be just writing down an answer or making a visual representation, something more artistic, or maybe they want to act out something to show their understanding. So it recognizes that, the students, have different motivations. They don't know the same things going into it. They choose to learn differently. So, when we approach it this way, the students, they have more ownership over their education. And I feel like that's something that teaching without UDL lacks. In that environment, it's the teachers in control the entire time, and the students kind of have to bend to that will, and they don't really get the chance to learn how they want to and express themselves in the classroom environment in a way that they'd like to.
All right,
um,
that's excellent. No,
yeah.
again, a lot of good stuff on that one. And then let's what's it called, move on to how does this help them engage better? How does it help them what's it called? I guess stay more interested in the learning. How does it keep them in?
Okay, so with UDL, we've seen that engagement, increases. And this is because the students in that environment, they feel seen, because they want to meet the students almost at their level instead of making the students meet the teacher. And what I mean by that is, like, the teacher isn't forcing all of the students to write an essay and then answer 20 multiple choice.
Mhm.
He's allowing them to show their understanding, which is the end goal, but in a way that is suited to the individual student. So when you do that, they feel seen, they're supported, and it almost empowers them to learn. Like it almost gives them like a little motivation, I guess. Like when you get to do something the way you want to do it, you're more motivated to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so with UDL, you also get that element of variety, and you do get that element of creativity in instruction, which is something you don't see all the time. If it's like a lecture can be boring, or an activity can just lack, it can just lack like a creative element to it, or it can just be very boring. And when you have this kind of variety, you keep your lessons fresh. And I feel like you can also spark a greater sense of curiosity in the students. And once you have that, you can then sustain it through UDL across the lesson, and you don't lose them the entire time.
That is
Yeah.
excellent. That is excellent. Okay. Let's see. Continuing on. Concerning what's it called, UDL, what are some challenges and impossible solutions that we may have to deal with implementing digital design learning with UDL values? What would that look like?
So the challenges and solutions is a big part of this. In our research that we've done, there are plenty of challenges with UDL. In general, with any education, you're going to have challenges. But in particular to UDL, one of the biggest issues is that educators feel that time is kind of slipping away from them. They already have a task schedule, they have a lesson plan, they have all this stuff planned out. How are they going to fit in all this UDL? How are they going to fit in all this extra timing and planning if they can't even get through their content in the first place? But a solution or a workaround of this is UDL is meant to save time. It's meant to make things easier, meant to take away any problems with printing out handouts, take away any problems of students going slower, taking away problems of students not understanding any content. So in the long run, it kind of saves time and makes a whole lesson, a whole unit, a whole year go by a little quicker. Another big problem that was kind of around the board is the lack of knowledge and preparation by educators. We are all in college right now. We're getting a good kind of round out information of how this all works. But someone who's in college 10, 20 years ago might not have all the UDL information we have today. So they feel like, hey, I gotta learn this whole new thing. This is too much for me to do. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not gonna do it. But a solution to this could be requiring courses or instructional periods for these educators to get used to this, to get used to the UDL and actually use it in their classroom. Because overall, it does benefit both educators and students. There really isn't a downside to this. It's universal, it's meant for everybody.
Excellent. That is excellent. But yeah, UDL time and planning, lack of knowledge, and prep for previous educators or older educators. This is excellent. Okay, so I guess a little recap. I mean, talking about UDL in its general sense. Let me see. Yeah, talking about UDL in its general sense. We're talking about concepts like representing and engaging students, what's it called, actively and letting them express themselves by optimizing their choices and autonomy, and representing all students, all what's it called, with any learning, what's it called, disabilities, English language learners, and students who are having trouble with certain subjects, whether it's just having struggles with math or maybe some writing skills. And using what's it called, design learning will increase the accessibility, and what's it called, increase the accessibility for students, so they'll be able to have an education that more fits themselves. Oh, forgive me. They'll have personalized learning. They'll have education that fits themselves, what's it called, more appropriately, and will engage them better by being more, I'm going to say, entertaining in the sense of, like, you can gamify certain assignments and certain lessons. What's it called? And it also gives students more ownership over their education and under what's called control over what they submit as an assignment and what they learn and what's called, and how they learn. I mean, honestly, when we were going over the challenges too, to mention, one of the critical ones that we brought up was time and planning, and what's it called? UDL's implementation. UDL is supposed to save time, as Ryan has said, and what's it called? It sounds like the implementation of UDL will fix itself. As of the problem of applying UDL is just what's it called? more of just an adjustment period that will make things easier in the long run. Otherwise, the only other thing to mention is, older educators who have been in, what's it called, who had their own methods of teachings and ways. They may have a hard time adjusting, but otherwise, what's it called? If at worst the adjustment period is the problem, like I said, UDL might have its own way of weaseling its way through and even influencing these older teachers, as well as all these new teachers incoming into the field. But yeah, that is excellent. UDL sounds like the next big thing, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And I think also with technology too, it makes UDL and implementing it so much easier for educators that maybe aren't so sure what it is. Things like different testing agents, flipped learning, gamifying, like you mentioned. We were also talking about doing, like in social studies, if you do like sort of an interactive simulator or even a VR and like put them in the place of what they're learning. Things like that can really help both the educator and the students try to like manage UDL altogether. So I think like incorporating technology into that is also a really useful way to do it easily and do it effectively.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do any of my other guests have any closing thoughts? Anything they want to?
Yeah, I mean, all our students nowadays, they grow up with tech. They know tech all their life. So I feel like putting technology into education makes it that much easier. I don't think literacy rates will go down. I think students will be writing. I don't think anything is going to be a problem with it. There's use of technology. Why not make education easier for them? Implement their home life, their school life, make it easier for everybody all around.
Absolutely. What's it called? To add to that, the what's it called? The kids are growing up with all this technology. It's about time education gets its own upgrade. You know what I'm saying? It's got to adapt through the times. If everything else is upgrading, it can't fall too far behind. It cannot. Vince, you want to add anything? That's what I'm asking.
Nah,
You're good. You're good. All right,
I'm
brother.
good. Nah.
All right. All righty. Well, it has been a pleasure having you guests on. Again, the what, how, and why of UDL. Listen, this podcast is going to take off soon and we're going to make millions and I can't wait for it. What's it called? Thank you to my guests, Vincent Mayo, Oriana
Yep.
Danielle, and Ryan Plout. It's been a pleasure. It has been truly a pleasure talking with all of you. So thank you and good night.